Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to this Friday, June 14th edition of Guadalupe Valley Views. I'm Megan Barthels and finally got a chance to sit down at the picnic table with my buddy John Frazer. John, you got a busy weekend ahead of you.
It's going to be pretty full.
We're talking to John today about the 15th annual Frazer's 15th annual Cystic Fibrosis Foundation Benefit Barbecue Cookoff. You know, when I got to see the flyer, John, I can't believe that it's already been 15 years in this event.
And it flies by pretty fast, but it still seems like the first year.
Well, on the way over to your residence, when we're recording this show, you are making KOERTH your home this weekend, and we'll talk about all the activities. It's more than just a barbecue cook-off, but that's a big part of it. You have events that take place tonight and tomorrow, and we'll get into that in a little bit. But I want to kind of go back on the history because I'm not too sure. And that's who's the dog? What's the dog's name?
Romeo.
All right. Well, he's in here, part of the show too, and we like it dogs here on the radio program as well. But you know, before the 15th annual Cystic Fibrosis event here, 15 years ago is when the first one was started, and there was a young lady named Bridget that who this was started for. And I told you before the interview, I didn't really know how to word this, but I'm going to use it like this. On my way over, I was thinking if anybody has done anything to help raise funds to find the cure for cystic fibrosis or to help with cystic fibrosis, especially in LAVACA County, it's been you, buddy, all the way. And there was a reason for that. Young lady named Bridget who succumbed to cystic fibrosis was probably the inspiration to start this cook-off and to give back and to show your way of remembering and helping to find a cure for the cause. But let's go back to 15 years ago. I mean, that being the inspiration, I know that it's deep in your heart on how much Bridget meant to you and how that you keep her memory or keep honoring her memory each and every year. But let's talk about how that got started, and then year after year, you also honor others that's been with the battle with cystic fibrosis.
Yes, sir. Started it, met Bridget February 1st of 2003. Kind of fell, I guess, deeply in love with her, or whatever you want to call it. And then April 27th of 2005, she passed away from the CF, cystic fibrosis, and I just couldn't let her go and let her memories go for nothing. She had to, in my opinion, had to pass away for a reason, and I say that reason was the inspiring me to fight and help find a cure and do what I can to help find a cure for cystic fibrosis. And we've been doing it ever since she passed away in April of 2005, and the first one was June 19th of 2005, so it was thrown together real quickly. There was only two sponsors at the time, and that was Shiner Brewery and myself, and we had the barbecue cook-off, and our live music was Smokey Wilson, and that was the whole cook-off. And found out about 2 weeks before the cook-off that it was Father's Day weekend, because we tried there's so many cook-offs in the area that we try to help each other out by each event out by placing a couple of weeks in between them, so everybody's sharing the same cookers. They have time to rebuild their money wise, to help out. And I wanted a date, and everybody always wants to know why it's on Father's Day. Well, for one, I didn't know it was Father's Day when I planned it. For two, I wanted it either closest to her birth date or her deceased date. Well, her birthday is June the 7th. Well, you had Tom Yoakum's Festival the first weekend of June. And then April 27th was a deceased date. Well, you have Shiner's Volunteer Fire Department cook-off around that area. So I figured the closest I could get was Father's Day weekend. Like I said, at that moment, I didn't know it was Father's Day weekend. It just ended up working out that way. And when I started it, the funniest part was I didn't know you had to have permission from a foundation to help raise money for a foundation. So I done had entry forms made and sent out and everything else, and all this stuff lined up, and found out I had to have permission. I was like, man, I hope they don't turn me down now.
Yeah. But since then, and that personal story only is one that you could tell, and I do apologize for, taking so long to ask that question, but, it's hard for someone who's, each and every one of us has been affected, or we knew someone, or we knew somebody who knew someone who's been affected or dealing with cystic fibrosis. And, it takes a lot of good, I was thinking about that on the way over. I said, I like to have good people in my life, and you're one of them, especially when you selfless efforts of putting this event together, because you just don't start working on it the week of. Y'all start, I guess, after the following year, after you get everything cleaned up. You're already preparing for the next year event. Where was I going with it? Oh, the thing is, each and every year, while you honor and keep Bridget's memory alive in this event, you also honor others. And I noticed just by being your friend on the Facebook that you have a lot of friends who either are dealing with or have dealing with, and you post online, hey, we've lost another young person, or an older person who's succumbed to the disease. Mm-hmm. And so you make people aware, but you also get folks involved, and kind of sharing those stories makes me understand and why you have more passion of putting this event together. And boy, you have another stellar event lined up for this weekend that begins tonight. I want to ask you on each year, and I don't know if it's a surprise or not, but each year you do honor some folks out at your Cookoff. Can we talk about who's being honored, or is that a surprise?
No.
Okay.
As far
for this year's event.
For this year, Bridget's always on the back of the shirts because it's who influenced me to start this. And Whitney, another young lady, she's on the back of the shirts, and I've met. I guess took her out for 9 years, and she ended up passing away in 2017. And then a Dunman, Shannon Dunman Louder, she's her family is real big in the CF. Her dad is on the board of directors of CF and the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and she lost her life last year due to the disease. And as far as right now this year, we don't have one that we're in memory of or honoring, but we always raise money on the side for a CFer, whether it's an infant, child, or young adult. And we're doing again this year. We're raising money for Lauren DeBose out of the other side of LaGrange. I can't think of the name right now, but this will be our third year for raising money on the side for her. And she was planning on attending, but just like most CFers, she's ended up back in the hospital last Friday. And which is a common thing. They spend 6 months out of the year in the hospital, so.
Well, you talk about this, and we talk about that part of it. When it comes together for this benefit barbecue cook-off, it is a good time. It looks like to me that the weathers are going to cooperate this year. Hopefully, we've had a couple of showers, so it's not too dry. We hadn't had a washout where it just rained out. I know that you've had to fight that. Even in June, some years you think, it's just going to be hot and dry. But, buddy, you've got the fantastic events lined up. And if you don't mind, let's, before we kind of talk more about CF and some other things on ways people can help volunteer, donate if they can't make it out this weekend, let's talk about those who are attending or looking for weekend plans, or making plans for this weekend. Tonight at 7 o'clock, you've got all kind of stuff going on. Tell me about what's on the agenda for this evening.
Friday night, we start off with mini rod tractor pulls. They'll start, give or take, right around 7 o'clock. And that's pretty exciting. You'll get to see kids up in ranges of 5 and up on garden tractors, not exactly regular lawnmowers, but and then all the way up to the big class, which I run in, which is a 2,000-pound class. And then we have the chef's choice will be judged tonight, and the bartender's choice that'll be judged tonight. That's pretty much everything for tonight is what's going on.
How many teams do you have besides those that are showing up? And I don't want to ask you, just on average over the past few years, y'all have had a pretty good turnout out here.
We've had up to 65 teams out here, but I never really truly know how to tell you that the numbers, because I know, right now we've got over 20 checked in, but I can't tell you full without having the
until it's all
count.
said and done. Yeah, no doubt. And I'm just curious about that. And on the mini rod tractor pulls, this is a sanctioned deal by the TMPTA. I think that's right. TMPTA. These mini rods, and of course Kenny very well, and that's how I kind of got around this tractor pull stuff. The first time I seen a mini rod, when I seen a Cub Cadet with a jet engine on it, I went, wait a minute. I looked at one of them and I said, not only would I hurt myself badly, I can get yards mowed from here to Hallettsville in like 5 minutes. I've run out of fuel 3/4. But it is amazing to see. I mean, the creativity on the mechanics and stuff on what they bring out and how they do it is just outstanding. And this is something to see. Can people still enter, like I said, be in the lunch hour right now when we're airing on the radio, but what's the cutoff deadline for the cooks to enter and the folks to show up for the tractor pull this evening?
The cooks can enter up to 10 o'clock Saturday morning. That's the cooks meeting, I believe, is at 9:30 or 10. Well, you got to be entered by then. Most of them will be entered by by this evening. It's just kind of early yet to tell what we got. The tractor pulls, just show up and watch them. The good thing about this, and people don't understand how it works off of donations. We don't charge for you to come out and watch the tractor pulls. It's, if we sell you a cap or a shirt, a koozie, or you buy something from the concession stand, that's how you're donating to us. You're not paying to have to come out and watch this, and it just seems to work out better for us that way.
Absolutely right. Now, tomorrow, and I don't know if you're going to be running in this, but you've got a benefit run, 7:30 tomorrow morning. You can pre-register online at getmeregistered.com and check in with Kathy Sanders there. Her telephone number, 361-772-4818. 361-772-4818. You gonna get in that run in the morning? Or you gonna be out working on the ground?
You might be laughing, but I'm gonna be running in it tomorrow and walking. I'm sponsored. I got a sponsor out of Victoria donating $300 for me to participate, and I started practicing and stuff, and I got up to 5 miles in an hour and 6 minutes, but.
Well, I wouldn't laugh at you. I just know that you and I have known each other for a long time, and I promise you'll see me waving. But the only time I run a 5K is when I'm out of gas and somebody's chasing me.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You normally see me running. There's something big chasing me. You better run faster.
You're right. But that's underway tomorrow morning at 7:30. The barbecue cook-off underway tomorrow. You mentioned just a minute ago about the cooks meeting in the morning. What are some of the categories that y'all have for judging tomorrow night? Or tomorrow during the day?
We're going to have a Dutch oven dessert, home-style beans, home-style chili, ribs, chicken, and brisket for tomorrow.
And awards tomorrow evening?
Yeah, the awards will be around 5 o'clock tomorrow evening, give or take a few. Just depends on how smooth the judging goes. Don't ever know how many entries you're going to have and how fast it can move. But usually around 5 o'clock.
And then live music tomorrow night. People want to kind of come out to the country and kick up their heels. Tainted Heart, they're playing tomorrow night from start about 9 o'clock.
Yeah, usually around 9 to 1 we have Tainted Heart, and then that'll pretty much end the night. But between the awards and the live music, we have a live auction. And we also have somewhere around 2 o'clock, we have some superheroes flying in they flew in last year and did some autographs and took pictures with the kids, and the kids loved it, so we're going to have them out back again this year. And then we got some pageantry that's coming down from San Antonio area, the young men and women pageantry, to hand the awards out away at the award ceremony. That way I don't have to take the pictures with everybody. And then
But if somebody wants to give you $100 to take a picture with you that all benefit CF, you'll do it.
Oh, gladly. I'll take a picture for $100 any day of the week. And we also have the car show Saturday morning from 10 to 3, and that's get with Derek Richter on that if you want to enter a car or whatever. I'm not exactly sure on what it's going to cost to enter the cars or anything like that.
Derek's telephone number here is 361-401-1168. 361-401-1168. Perfection Auto is helping putting that on. All right, buddy. We talked LAVACA County, but United need a T-shirt next year. Where in the world is KOERTH, Texas? But can you tell us kind of how to get there and for directions and information?
I kind of say it's between, but off to the side of Yoakum and Hallettsville. You take a it just depends where you're coming from. I can get you there from anywhere. If you're coming out of Yoakum going towards Hallettsville on 77, you turn off on 531, run it through Sweet Home, go about 6 more miles out, and then you'll come into a community called KOERTH, and we'll be on the left-hand side.
And you're not hard to mess with. You'll see all the trucks and campsites and flags and colors and smoke.
Yeah, if you miss us, you slept through it or something.
Mm-hmm.
And KOERTH is not very big; it's one sharp curve. So you better, you're going to find it. You're going to run up on